Well, hello everybody. Today's going to be part 2 of this Briggs & Stratton Revival 4 horsepower. I have got some parts in for the carburetor. I'm going to get those installed today. Get the screwdriver and the glasses and should be ready to go. So I got the diaphragm in. There's the new diaphragm, Briggs & Stratton, and also I got the little O-ring that goes back here. So let's work on getting that diaphragm replaced. There is an often overlooked step that I will make sure to convey. To ensure proper operation. Get these screws out. Should be 5 on this particular model. Some may have more, some may have less, depending on the age. This one's from 1982, so I imagine it would be considered one of the later ones of this design. So I'll pull that old assembly out, and I have gas in there. And apparently I'm not supposed to have gas in there, from what I've been reading and watching videos about. Kind of learning as I go on this system. And apparently everything has to be just so or it won't work. I have already ran both the tank and the carburetor through the ultrasonic cleaner. So everything is clean. I put fresh gas in it. I cleaned the bottom of the tank and everything out, so we should be in good shape. Let's dump out that little bit of residual gas. I'll make sure that's extra clean on that mating surface. So no gas is allowed in here, from what I understand. And you can take a look at it. I did clean it up and take a little thin wire and run through every hole I could find in there. Tank's reasonably clean. So we'll set that aside just a minute, and I'll turn my attention to the top end of the carburetor, which once again I did run it through the pressure washer, or not the pressure washer, the ultrasonic cleaner. Let's get this apart. And yesterday I had replaced the needle and seat, which is the nylon variety. We'll set that aside. Now I can get to the choke lever. And I'll pull this old diaphragm out of here. That was no good anymore. And then pop this O-ring out. There we go. Out with the old and in with the new. Then it's part number 270344S. For this O-ring. And that's a heck of a bag they put that in. Let's see. Yeah, I can definitely see the difference between the old and new, so if this will help seal a little bit better, that would be great. Just work it in there, and it's set right in there. I may just put a drop of oil on it for ease of reassembly. Alrighty. So the next step would be get my spring here in the little ring that pumps the fuel. And then we'll get the old well, that was not good. I dropped the spring. Got a bit of good news. I found that new spring, so I went ahead and popped that on there. And that is installed correctly. It's between those two little tabs. And how would I know it's correct? I've got the service literature for this. So we're at figure 12. Note the spring. That's exactly how I've got it installed. I do not have this. If I continue to have a little trouble with it, I have ordered one just in case, this roll pin kit. And it is part number 391413, in case the top of the tank is not flat. I shouldn't have to worry about that if I go ahead and use that new old stock tank. Now here, this one is a good one. I couldn't see any good information on it. Goes in the carburetor side. It does not go in here. I watched a lot of videos where it went in here and I wasn't sure about that, so I'm going to install it per the Briggs & Stratton service and repair instructions. I figure they know what they're talking about. So we'll get back to installing this carburetor, getting it all set back up. The next step will be, let's slip this down in place. Get that choke rod going in there. And it should sit on there about like that. I don't have the little pin that goes in there. It wasn't in there when I started, so that's that. And then I'm going to hold here and get this set back up in place. There, that's sitting like it needs to. Everything's got to go in its spot. Spring went in, and then flip it over, and everything is in. Now I'm not forgetting about the important step that's coming up. I'm just getting everything lined up since I don't have that pin. I'm going to just set the screws in. And then what I got to do is open the choke to load it up. And then I can tighten my screws. We'll do one over here, and then we'll do this one next. And I'll get them tightened. I'll just snug them down for right this second. Just tightening screws here. See, I'm holding the choke like that. I think she's going to work. Now I'll put this cover plate back on. Make sure the gasket's in place. Let's see if it works. That is working properly. So theoretically, this should start up. I'll just give one more tightening to these screws, mounting screws. And then we'll do the needle and seat. Just seated. We'll go 1/2, 1, and 1/2. And I would think it should start at that point. Yep, that's looking pretty slick now. Well, I'm going to go take a break and get something to eat, and then I'll come back and see if it's going to start.